In this section, we are going to talk about geometry spirals. We're going to be in the horizontal geometry introduction drawing again. And we're going to zoom down into the geometry spiral area. And we've got two different ones here, a spiral from an element and a spiral between elements. Okay, and we got a note down here, use a length and end radius of 1,000 foot. So when we get to that point, we're going to enter in 1,000 to create our spiral in there. All right. So once that's created in there, we'll be able to trim that back and everything and have one spiral type arc element coming from that line. So we're in open roads modeling, geometry. We're going to go down into the horizontal area and then to spirals. Okay, we have spiral from an element, and between elements we're going to look at from element. So we'll pick on that, and we've got the toggle bar for feature definition up there. We've got geometry scratch and it's turned on. Okay, if you can't remember where to get that, it is under the standards feature definition toolbar. We'll pull that out. Okay, so we've got it set up at geometry scratch. We're going to come down here with that tool and we're going to select the line that we want our spiral to come from. So we'll select that horizontal line out there. Then we're going to take a look at the dialog in here, and we've got an offset we can do. We've got a method, a length. Our method here, we're just going to show length on this, but there's several different methods in there. The length here and the end radius are both going to be 1,000. So we're going to go ahead and key those in here with that length option. So we'll key in 1,000 and enter. Okay. And then we'll do the same thing for the end radius. We'll key in 1,000 and enter that in. And we're going counterclockwise on this one, but you also have the ability to go clockwise. So we'll do counterclockwise. And you can name it and everything else that you want to in here. Okay, so we're going to come out on the screen and it wants to do an offset. So we're just going to do 0 and enter, and that'll lock that in right on the line. And then we're going to accept it pretty much where we want to start our arc from. So start point back here to the left, we'll accept that start point, and then it will draw out that 1,000 foot, 1,000 radius spiral. And all we have to do is left click to place that where we want it to go. So you could go above or below on that one. We're going to go above. We'll come in here and we will just left click to accept that going above it. Okay. Then we have the trim abilities. Right now it's set at none. We can set it to back. As long as there's no offset, it will trim that back. All you have to do is accept that. If you left click on it, you can see your 1,000 information that you put in there. So 1,000 for the length and for the end radius. Okay. All right. And we're going to go over, take a look at the next one here in a moment. You can tell that this is just one or two individual pieces. We're going to take a look at the spiral between elements. So that's our next tool up there, spiral between elements. This one is a lot like the arc between elements tool. Our arc between elements and two elements, only this one's giving a spiral and a spiral transition. Okay, the dialog box pops up. It's a lot to this dialog box. You can come in and put in your trim, what you're going to do there, trim it. You can also do offsets, fill in a ratio, do your connector radiuses. All this stuff can be filled out on the screen. What I'm going to fill out in here is the back transition length and then the head transition length, and I'm going to make them both 100. So I'm going to go ahead and put in the length of 100 there and 100 down here in the ahead transition. Then I'm going to come out here on the screen and I'm going to left click on the locate the first element. That'd be the horizontal line at the bottom. We can give it an offset of 0 and enter, and that'll put it right on top of the line. Okay. And it says enter start offset. We'll accept that. Locate the second element, which is going to be our arc over there on the right side. So we'll left click it. So you can see you move around, it's asking for an offset there. We'll do 0 and enter. Okay, once we do that, we can move back into the correct quadrant that it needs to be in, which is option number 1. Okay, once we have option number 1 in there, we can go ahead and it's got the 100 foot in there already. So we can go ahead and accept that. And then we can trim it. Right now it's set at none, so you can use the down arrows to change that, or you can change it from the dialog, and we'll just do both on that one and accept it. And it's going to make a nice smooth spiral arc between those two elements. Okay, and you can click on those two elements at the end and they kind of maintain what they are, but the spiral itself, you really can't do much with it. As far as when you left click on it, nothing happens. If you look at the properties, the heads-up display, you'll be able to change items inside of there. So instead of having it on the pop-up as soon as you select it, like the other civil elements do, you can get the heads-up, get properties, and then you can change the information inside of the dialog box. Okay, that is your spiral tools.